What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be talking about yesterday's scratch match against the Crows, which happened at Alberton Oval. It was a clinical performance by Port Adelaide in the end, getting the job done by 52 points. Unfortunately, the SANFL side beforehand got done by the Crows team with a 2-goal loss, which was pretty unfortunate. Some pretty poor goal kicking in the end didn't really help our cause. 6 goals, 16. It was a very interesting day at Alberton. Very nice conditions, but we're going to be talking about the things I learnt from the day to take away. Now, I know I've been away for a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, haven't had capabilities to be filming and producing some content that I wish I was over the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately, with a bit of an injury going on, haven't had the time or the preparation to do so. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm here today and I'm going to be bringing the things I learnt from yesterday's game. And the first thing right off the ranks is Riley Bonner's new role. Now, I was watching the game with a lot of intent because obviously it was the first proper hit out against an opposition side. I wanted to see what our structures were doing, and it was pretty similar to last year and how we went about it. We were a lot more clinical. We took that extra half a second just to really pinpoint our kicks and overall just play a better brand of football on the day. But there was one key component that I looked at and really was noticing was Riley Bonner's role. And what I learnt was that his new role is actually a pretty attacking and a pretty daring role. He's playing higher up the ground along that wing half-forward line. He was playing down at half-back a couple of times as well, but he's really developed as a player over summer. He's taking his time with his kicks and he's really making better decisions when he has the footy. He was hitting targets really well, hitting those shorter options, and when he needed to, he did go long. But overall, his performance yesterday was really, really impressive, and I was really enjoying what he was doing. Now, I'm definitely one of those people that gets onto the back of Bonner and really tries to, well, not help, but give my 2 cents on him, because sometimes his selection isn't justified the way us fans would like it to be, and sometimes he does get a little bit of a free ride. But that's not to say his opportunities, when he has played well, he's deserved, because we know he's got a booming left foot. He's great on both feet. He's got some real pace, and I reckon if he can continue to develop the way he has over the summer, he's going to have a very prolific role come the start of the season and pushing through to 2021. Another player that did impress me was WILLEM Drew. Hasn't played a proper game of footy since the Sample Grand Final in 2019. Now, obviously with 2020, and he had a lot of injuries running through and no opportunities to really play a proper game because of no Port Adelaide side in the SANFL, and there was very limited scratch match opportunities for the AFL sides across the year. He didn't have a proper hit out, and yesterday was his opportunity, and my God, he did impress throughout the midfield. He had a lot more time than the others did, and I think that's due to the fact that he hasn't had a very good amount of opportunities to showcase himself, and we know how good he was in 2019 and really helped us develop as a young group, and he provides a lot of depth in our midfield, and I think he was able to hit the scoreboard. He's a really attacking player, but also can be really defensive and really knows how to use the footy well. And it was really impressive to see that after such a long time out, he was able to utilise that chance, and, well, just really impressed me overall in a performance that was so dominant by the whole team that you couldn't really pencil in any main good players. But overall, WILLEM Drew was just really impressive through the midfield, and I reckon he'll feature a lot more come next week and also heading into the season. One thing I noticed as well is the fact that obviously we were missing Tom Jonas and Robbie Gray and Sam Powell-Pepper, a couple of really good midfielders, and obviously Tom Jonas, the captain, down back as well. And the mixture of our defensive unit overall is a lot of depth. Like we had Aliir, we had Cleary, we still had Darcy Byrne-Jones, Hamish Hartlett mixing through there. No Mackenzie yesterday, but Aliir was really impressive on Taylor Walker. Tom Cleary was really impressive on Fogarty. And, to see as well Lockie Jones and Miles Bergman playing through that half-forward role and really linking up. They were really good contested on ground and in the air. Lockie Jones was flying for a few too many contest, I thought, and did compromise a couple of opportunities for us to exit out. But he's still learning, and it's great to see that he's getting this opportunity, because I really think he'll feature throughout the year. And so will Miles Bergman. He's going to be one to watch across, especially next week in the Amy Series game, and then come round 1 when that selection hits, because Tom Jonas has got to come back into this side, and it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out, because our depth is really, really good in defence, and Lockie Jones deserves a chance. Miles Bergman is really starting to show his own. Does Aliir come out of the side? Mackenzie, I'm a little bit hesitant on. Hasn't featured much. Didn't play in the internal. Didn't play yesterday. And it's starting to really give me a bit of question marks about whether or not he's going to get his opportunity come round 1, which would be a little bit disappointing, because he had such a good 2020 season. He was a revelation last year, and I'm hoping he gets his chance again. But it's really good to see that in our defensive unit we've got so much depth, because come the season, there's going to be a lot of bodies tired, and the rotations are going to be really handy. And that whole unit has been so strong for so long now that it's great to see that we've got more coming through the ranks. I tell you one thing, Connor Rosie's foot looks intact. He's dancing around, doing all these things, doing the Rosie tings that we've seen and have come to love over the last couple of years. He did go see a specialist about a different type of injury that's in his foot with a ligament issue, but I tell you what, the way he's dancing around players, moving around, he's still got his pace, and his skill set is just unbelievable. I don't see any issue at all. And to the naked eye, you're not going to see anything with something of that sort of injury. But right now, you're going to have full confidence that he's going to be playing next week. Play round 1. He may be managed throughout the year. And I really feel like that if he's on his game like he was yesterday, he's going to be a very, very damaging player come round 1. We already know he is, but I reckon there's another level that he's going to go to, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. As long as that foot stays intact, which at the moment, it looks cherry ripe. And the last thing I learnt, I wouldn't say I learnt it, because I think everyone that's a Port Adelaide fan and everyone that's witnessed footy at Alberton knows this, but Alberton is a beautiful place. A beautiful place to watch football, and it was thoroughly enjoyable yesterday, sitting at home, watching the scratch match, watching the live stream, and just seeing how beautiful on a nice, perfect day for footy, how good that ground is. And I'm always here to say that I think that hopefully, as of like you had for Carlton, they've got they had Optus Oval back in the day, and Cardinia Park for Geelong. It would be great to see one game that Port Adelaide play in a fixture for an AFL season, that we get a game at Alberton Oval. Just imagine. I know the capacity will be a little bit questionable, and you might not get any more than 10,000 unless there's a big redevelopment coming through at some stage down the track, and you have a little bit of a grandstand and really develop it into that niche stadium of 25,000, 30,000 people. But I tell you what, it's just a beautiful ground, and at some stage I'd love to see an AFL game for points be played there, because how beautiful would that be? All Port fans down at Alberton, just enjoying footy, enjoying the day, and a pearler of a day, playing for premiership points. Nothing would beat that, I don't think. Well, there you have it, Port fans. That's what I learnt from the scratch match against the Crows yesterday at Alberton Oval. 52-point winners. It was a very, very good performance overall. Clinical. I didn't take too much away from it in terms of how the big boys played. The Charlie Dixons, Dersmers, Boakes, Rockcliffe, and Darcy Bent-Jones, and the list goes on, because they were all pretty damn good. Ollie Wines and Hamish Harlett. They played their role and just did the job they had to do in a scratchy, and I think overall that performance just keeps us in good stead, gives us good momentum moving into next week, and hopefully again you get the job done down at Noarlunga, and you move into round 1, which is 2 weeks from next week against North Melbourne, who don't look that great at the moment. So the ball is starting to move for the season of 2021. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what else comes through later down the track. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content coming your way across the 2021 season. My name is Anthony, and as always, can the pair.